Hello, good morning, chat. Hello. I am here. I made it. I'm alive. Hello. Hello, hello. I don't know if you can tell, but if you notice anything different about me, hello. I made a bunch of food. I didn't go as all out as last week, but if you notice anything different about me and how I move this week, it's yesterday my iPhone XR arrived, and so now I'm using that for tracking, and it is much smoother and more accurate. Yeah, it's way better, right? It's so much smoother, and like the eye tracking is real good. It's very nice. Yeah, iPhone time. iPhone city. You'll notice that what was the coffee cam last week is this ridiculous whoop, 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 green mess. That is yerba mate. The tea leaves that you use, the mate leaves. Mate is actually a plant in the holly family of plants. Yeah, so you basically, like, you have this special cup. It's shaped like a gourd, right? And you can use like a regular straight-walled cup, but traditionally you use a gourd. And then you use this metal straw, and the metal straw has a filter at the bottom. And so the mate leaves are chopped. There's a bunch of different ways you can get it prepared. I like it super finely chopped. So it's like these super duper finely chopped leaves, and you put a bunch of them in there, and you wet them a little bit, and then you add the hot water, and then you sip it through the straw. And the straw, the bombilla, filters out the leaves, so you just get the tea. And it's kind of bitter and very refreshing, and it is caffeinated, pretty highly caffeinated, but it doesn't give you the jitters the way that coffee does. So I felt like having mate this morning. I have my brunch here. It's been sitting for a little bit, so the eggs don't look quite as pretty, but I wanted to show it off. I've got some scrambled eggs, and I've got some green apple slices, and some toast. And the toast is buttered. It's just buttered on the underside, so you can't see the butter. So that's my brunch. That's what I'm gonna be munching on. I'm excited to dig in. I've been sitting here staring at my food for like 15 minutes. Now I was gonna turn on hand tracking on this stream, but I decided against it because I was gonna be eating, and the hand tracking requires a cord that runs from my computer to my chest, where the tracker for my hands is, and I didn't want to have to deal with that. Let me get the mate back over here. Whoop, 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 whoop. Mate cam. Oh yeah, mate does. It has a bunch of different chemical properties aside from the caffeine. It soothes. Yeah, yeah, I'm not sure what exactly. It has, like, in addition to the caffeine, it has some, like, relaxing chemicals in it. And so, you get the caffeine, but you also feel calm, and you don't get those jitteries, because it doesn't activate all those stress hormones like coffee does. Because coffee jacks up your cortisol, and that's why you get coffee jitters from it. Mate doesn't do that. But yeah, so very excited about the tracking. And then other big news, I mentioned this yesterday, but I think that Giselle was the only one in the chat when I was talking about it. I'm talking to an artist. I don't really want to say more at this phase because it's just kind of preliminary conversation, but I have been chit-chatting with an artist about getting a 2D model, and it will look quite a bit different from my current model, but it will be kind of the true iteration of Skylarka. Think of this as my kind of like my proto model. This is my Vroid that I made myself. The first Vroid I ever did make. But I will have a live 2D model at some point. It'll probably take a couple months, so I'll be talking about it for a long time and the progress that happens. But hello, Collective Acqui. Oh, Europe. No. I got all excited. And it's a bot. I don't want your Doge, my dude. Where's... Where's your moderation tools, Twitch? There's so many options. So many things. You'd think I would be better at this, but I'm not. I can't find the button. It should be in my quick actions, and it's not. Oh, here it is. Ha 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 ha. No. No. Here we go. Bop. Ha 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 ha. Oh, hey, I can do it right in, Oh, good. Thank you. I can do it. I thought I had to do it in the Twitch panel, but I can do it right in the OBS stream chat. That's way easier. I will be better about it next time. I was like right-clicking the message and stuff, not the name. Sorry about that. But now you all had time to read about Dogecoin promotions or whatever that was. Don't give them your money. That's a grift. Yerba Mate. Alright. Gonna start the crossword puzzle. Yeah, I am just waking up. This is my first caffeine of the day. End of pens. Nibs. No, that's not gonna be it. You know, I'll go to the moon. But I'll go to the moon in a cool 1980s spaceship. That'd be way better. Like, you know, I don't want to go to the moon on paper. If I'm gonna go to the moon, I want to go to the frickin' moon. Toast. So I talked about this the other day too, but there is new JoJo's is out. Oh yeah, Bezos bucks. Bezos bucks. You know, I'm waiting. My BGM is off. What? Is that better? It was on. It was just real quiet. Can you hear it now? cool. Yeah, it was just too quiet. I'm waiting for like Twitch to get in on some sort of weird crypto NFT something, and like it'll be the Bezos bucks. Like we kind of already have it. It's kind of like bits, you know. You buy their special currency, and you pay them more than it's worth, and then you spend it. I don't use bits, but you know, maybe they'll rename it Bezos bucks. That would be funny. But as I was saying, before we got so...
Have confidence!
Before we got so rudely interrupted, the new JoJo's is out, and I'm very excited. We have 2 Joestars, and I think it's gonna be good. I'm not gonna spoil anything about it because it literally only just came out. But yeah, I read it ish in Japanese, and I read the scanlation that's going around, and it's super good. The art's incredible per Mr. Araki, and yes, JoJo's. If you have not read or watched JoJo's, you can watch the first 6 parts in anime form. It's many episodes, but it's very good. And you could also read it. And at part 7, it's kind of like a soft reboot. So you could start there, but I highly recommend experiencing the first 6 parts either as anime or as manga before you start reading parts 7, 8, and 9. Because that, like, you're gonna enjoy 7, 8, and now 9, which is just starting, so much more if you are familiar with the events and style and tropes and things that were developed in parts 1 through 6, because this is a manga that's been running for like 30 years. So yeah, check it out. It's so good. It's so good. And yeah, I'll stop talking about JoJo's. I know I talk about JoJo's every stream. I have incredible JoJo's Bizarre Adventure brain rot, and I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. Big bite of edge. Other cool stuff going on. I want to look at crosses. We have a bunch of new and adjusted point redeems for the channel points. I got Mix It Up, and it has resulted in a couple snafus, including one last night. I wanted to add some animations and sounds and stuff to channel point redeems that were not through sound alerts, and I didn't know how to do it. So I asked on a Discord server that I'm on with a bunch of VTubers, and I got some help, and I got the Mix It Up bot, and it's super cool. So I have tweaked a bunch of the channel point redeems, and I've added some channel point redeems. But the alerts and sound alerts should all work better now as well, because I messed with my OBS. But for some reason, and I'm not sure if it's a hotkey that I'm accidentally hitting or it's a bug or what, but for some reason, when I have had Mix It Up open and then had OBS open and been editing and testing alerts in Mix It Up to push them to OBS, sometimes it will just put me live. And it will not, like, it won't ask me if I'm sure I want, like, usually in OBS, you click start the stream, and OBS gives you a big pop-up, and it's like, are you sure you want to start the stream? And it's not doing that. It's just, all of a sudden, I'm live. And the first time it happened, I was messing around and Mix It Up, and then and it's literally just like, I have it sitting on the starting soon screen, right? Because all my alerts are on all the screens. And I am, like, I don't have my mic turned on or anything. It's literally just sitting there on the starting soon screen. And I was testing out alerts, and then I went over to OBS, and I had been live for like 30 minutes just sitting there on the starting soon screen. And this was at like 11 o'clock at night, way later than I would normally stream. Thankfully nobody was watching, but I still felt bad. And then last night, the same thing kind of happened. I was doing some more editing in Mix It Up, and then I was like tweaking some channel point stuff, and it had apparently turned me live, and I didn't notice. Thankfully, it had only been like 4 minutes, and I had streamed yesterday. So like the stream information and everything on Twitch, it was like the same as my stream from earlier, so it looked like I was doing a Saturday night stream. And then my good friend Choo Choo did a raid because they thought that I was starting a stream, and I was not. And so I got raided, and the raid alert popped up, and at first I was like, what? I didn't trigger the raid alert, I triggered the one I'm working on. And then I like looked at OBS and I was live, and I was like, oh no, I've gotten a raid. Oh no. And so I had to chat with Choo Choo and be like, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. And so we sent them all elsewhere. But yes, it was quite an adventure. So I'm not sure what's causing that to happen. I don't know why it's making me go live when I'm trying to not be live and just edit stuff. I can't find anything online about it. Like, I've been looking. But it's weird. It's really weird. So that's the thing. That's the thing that's happened to me. It's the joys of Twitch. So, how are you all doing? Y'all having a good weekend? Do you have a long weekend because of President's Day? You get some work off? No, not sashimi. Yeah. It's in the U.S. There's President's Day tomorrow, and so a bunch of stuff is closed. A bunch of people have the day off. I think usually aren't there like President's Day car sales? You can go buy a car on President's Day and save like $1,000. Oh my god. Installing a new server, that sounds like a daunting task. I don't envy you. Good luck. I wish you the best of luck, JT. That is... Yeesh. This might be seared, this clue, but I'm not gonna put it in because I'm not sure. I want some context on that one. Hey, Coyote, how's it going? We're just hanging out, chatting, eating. I got my mate. It looks a little bit gross up there, I'm not gonna lie. Less appealing looking than the coffee, but it's delicious. Oh, good. I'm glad, JT, that the IT company is doing the install. That makes your job a little easier. Hopefully, it's worth coming in on the holiday. I have tomorrow off. I actually didn't realize it. Yeah, crunch, crunch. Apple bites. Yum, 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 yum. I did not realize that I had the holiday at work until Friday afternoon. I was like getting ready to like send an email to some people and like ask for some stuff, and then I looked at the calendar for work and I saw that we had the day off on Monday, and I was like, oh, I probably shouldn't send this like thing asking for help on Friday afternoon, the day before a long weekend, because nobody's gonna see this. And then Mothman will not get his special pancake brunch. I'm trying to have a special pancake brunch for the Mothman. And really want it to go off without a hitch. So we gotta get all the pieces together, you know. Keep them away from bridges. Otherwise, make sure that all the food is to his liking with the correct amount of dust. Talked about Mothman's dust before. He's big into moth dust. It's very weird. Very weird because, well, he's not a moth. He's not. Nope. He's just always covered in that moth dust. Getting it everywhere. Moth dust. Speaking of Mothman, what about Mothman? One thing, well, you type up about Mothman. Oh, never mind. Oh man, I've talked about the Newkirks before. I love the Newkirks. Look, I can sip water now, and I don't freak out. Yeah. I've talked about the podcast that they do on stream. So I don't know, Giselle, you know about them because you're bringing them up, but crunch. I'm gonna talk about the Newkirks. So the Newkirks, I think they live in like Ohio. But their names are Greg and Dana Newkirk, and they're like these paranormal investigator people. But they're not really like TV ghost hunters at all. They have they run a museum of haunted objects, and so people can contact them if they have like a creepy doll or some other object that they think is haunted or causing problems. They can contact the Newkirks, and the Newkirks will take it off their hands and manage it, and they do like paranormal investigations. I talked on stream before about the show that they made called Hellier. They're like cult researchers and historians. Yeah, that's a good way to describe them. But they have this show called Hellier where they do this crazy investigation about reports of goblins in Kentucky, and it turns into this whole thing about the Mothman, and like I don't know if you're familiar with the Mothman prophecies, the actual like book about it, but there's all of these allegations from the I think the 60s when Mothman took place, or the 70s, about this like guy who is referred to as an ultra-terrestrial, some kind of interdimensional alien called Indrid Cold, who has something to do with the Mothman, and he starts coming up as they're looking into these Kentucky goblins, and it's very, very weird. It's spooky. Whether you believe in any of this stuff or not, the Newkirks are very entertaining. So they do this investigation into the Mothman. They run this museum of haunted objects, and they'll investigate them. And generally they do like all kinds of neat, spooky, interesting things. And yeah. They have their podcast. It's the movie is a very, very loose interpretation of the book. The book is actually, I suppose technically a non-fiction book. It's by this guy who was a journalist named John Keel. And he is he was a journalist who wrote at times about paranormal stuff and had all these weird theories about high strange activity. And the book is about, he goes to Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where people had been reporting seeing this Mothman figure and aliens and all kinds of weird shit. And he just writes about it. He had all kinds of weird encounters with like men in black tapping his phone and like all kinds of shit. So that's the Mothman prophecies. But yeah, so the Newkirks. Well, if you can see Giselle talking about in chat, they're not like typical paranormal people. They have out there John Keel-esque theories about interdimensional contact and stuff, but not in like a woo-woo kind of way, in like a, we don't understand the science of this, but it is possible that maybe our brains are like reaching across other dimensions, or maybe we just are prone to these sorts of hallucinations, and it's kind of this shared delusion kind of built into our biology. We don't know what it is, but it is very, very, very weird, and we want to learn about the weird stuff that people experience. That's kind of the attitude that they take. And so, like Giselle's talking about, the conceptual skeptic-based standpoint. That's a good way to describe them. And so, they have this podcast about their haunted objects and all kinds of other weird stuff they do. And they were recently on, The World According to Jeff Goldblum, doing an episode about Bigfoot. Because they've talked a little bit about Bigfoot in the past. And, they talked about on their podcast how they got contacted to be on the show about monsters and go Bigfoot hunting with Jeff Goldblum. And, like Giselle says, on a podcast, they explained it, they got the call and they were like, you guys know, like, we're not Bigfoot hunters. Things are gonna get really weird really quick if you have us on this show, because we're not going out looking for Bigfoot like it's an animal. We're going out looking for Bigfoot like it is this bizarre phenomenon that could be a hallucination, it could be an ultra-terrestrial, it could be something else we don't understand, but of all of the possible things Bigfoot could be, it's probably not an unidentified ape running around in the woods in the Pacific Northwest, because the odds of that are so slim, because we've explored so much of the world. And the Jeff Goldblum people were like, we know it'll get weird, that's why we want you, because you're those freaks into the weird stuff. And so, I definitely recommend the new Church. Maybe we could do a Hellier watch-along. That'd be really fun. It's all on YouTube, so you could all watch along, and we could talk about it as it goes. That might be a stream idea for the future, because that show is out there. Man, that show is so out there. It's so good. Not even touching the crossword. Just hanging out chatting. Look at this. Messages hidden in some brunch fare. Are there messages hidden in your brunch fare today? Are you even eating brunch? Nom. Eating coffee. You know, coffee is an important part of a balanced breakfast. Having a headache and working on art. Well, I'm sorry about the headache, but working on art's a great way to spend a Sunday morning. I have to say. That's great. Except the headache. Headaches are the worst. Look at me. Look at me. On breakfast now. That's my impression of coffee. Or like the regular show Coffee Bean Guy. Have you seen that? Have you seen that, J2? The cartoon The Regular Show has an episode about coffee. And it's like this guy suddenly shows up and he's a coffee bean and he speaks in like Or he just kind of makes noises, and he has a guy that follows him around translating. I'm sure a giant coffee bean in whitey tighties shows up, and he like goes, and then this guy's like, he says, "Hello, I am a giant coffee bean. I will bring you caffeine." And then they sign a contract. Yeah, the fist pump episode. And then the coffee bean goes, "Whoa!" And he shoots coffee out of his nipples and into their mouths, and then their eyes get really big, like their pupils like dilate really big, and they have this crazy dream sequence about being super productive because they've had all this coffee. It is exactly like real life, basically. That's my experience with coffee, to the T. You sign a binding contract wedding you to coffee forever, and then you can actually do your job. Yeah, the working for the weekend lawn mowing sequence, so good, so good. Crunch. So one thing I will say, now that I have the iPhone tracking, which is really good. For whatever reason, I thought that Vroid models were stock with like the puffed cheeks and the tongue out as like features, but they're not. So my tracking is now more advanced than my model. I can like puff out my cheeks, and it doesn't do anything with the model, which is a shame. I thought I was going to be able to get that with the iPhone. But I guess you need to edit the Vroid in Unity and add those as blend shapes. And I don't know how to do that. I do have Unity and Blender, and I did try because I was going to add my tail. Instead, my tail stays curled up around me like a permanent hug inside my hoodie. But I was going to add my tail when I first made this Vroid. And I got the thing to import the Vroid model into Unity and export it and whatever. And for some reason, when I did that, it would break a bunch of the tracking when I exported it. And I followed all of the settings that everybody was using. But it was breaking a bunch of the tracking. So I was able to attach tail, but at what cost? And then I haven't really touched it again since, because it's just not something that I'm really capable of doing. So if anybody is a pro at Unity or editing VRM models in Blender or Unity and like adding blend shapes and extra objects and accessories, so I'd love to have my sunglasses too. You can see in all my like concept art and my emotes and stuff. I got those shutter shades. I don't have those. I did make those, but I can't get them to toggle without bringing them into Unity and making them into like an accessory item that I can toggle on and off. And like I said, when I did that, it was just breaking everything when I exported it and then put my model into my rendering software, into VCFace. So I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Kind of a shame. Our viewers just went up. Welcome in, anybody who's just joining us. I'm Skylarka, and I'm eating brunch and working on this crossword puzzle, but really I'm mostly like hanging out talking right now because it's Sunday morning and I'm under-caffeinated and we're just chatting. Welcome. If you're having a good time, drop a follow. And otherwise, thanks for being here. Nom nom. Trying to bust out some words here, I haven't done much. Just, let's see. It airs on Sundays, I believe, so there should be a new episode of Zombie Fungus Show today. Last week it aired early, so I was able to talk about the new episode. This is the Zombie Fungus Show, The Last of Us, which if you are not watching it, it's super good. I'm pretty sure it's a Sunday show, because it got bumped to Friday last week because of the Super Bowl. I'm honestly not 100% sure. Like, I've been watching it, but I've been watching it, like, as I'm able, kind of midweek. And so, last week, on Friday, there were 2 new episodes instead of 1 new episode, and I was like, but I think it's a Sunday show, because the reason there were 2 last Friday is because the Super Bowl was last Saturday. The big game, as they say on QVC. The big game. The big game. Super Bowl is copyrighted, you're not allowed to say it on TV. But that was on Sunday. And because that was on Sunday, they moved, I think, The Last of Us to Friday. But maybe it's a Saturday show and they moved it because of all the hype around the game. I don't know. Hey, Mirren, what's going on? Welcome in. Just finishing up brunch. I got a couple more of these crunchy apple slices. How you doing? How's your weekend going? Yeah, that's what I like to hear. I have been not focusing on the crossword because we've been too chatty. Bad news and what? I'm very curious what that's going to turn out to be. EMTs are emergency medical technicians. And so the clue for that one was something like who administers now I gotta look at it because I can't remember. AED administrators. So an AED is their initials. So an AED is initials for an automatic electronic defibrillator, I think is what it stands for. And defibrillation is when you see on like TV, they have those electric paddles and they put them on somebody's chest and they go clear and then they zap them to get their heart rhythm to like re-regulate properly. That's an AED. And so, well, the thing with crosswords, I'll get to this in a second, I guess. So the people who administer AEDs are EMTs. You need a certification to administer an AED. Well, I guess you don't. Like, they put them around because anybody can do it because they have directions in them. But like, they all, like ambulances have AEDs inside of them. So EMTs are the people who often administer AEDs. So the thing with crosswords, this is a good trick if you don't do a lot of them, is there's a mouse in this apple here. The syntax from the clue to the answer stays the same. So a lot of the times there will be like abbreviations or short, like standard shortened versions of words, but the syntax and the clue and the answer will be the same. So this says AED administrators, and because AED is an abbreviation, you know the answer is going to be an abbreviation, right? Because there's an abbreviation in the clue, and so there will be an abbreviation as the answer. And then likewise, if it's all spelled out, like if that said defibrillator administrators, then that would be like probably like written out in full, like doctors or like first responders or something like that. So it's a good trick. And then Like, sometimes it'll be like, I can't find one in the clues in this puzzle. But sometimes, instead of like an abbreviation that's just letters like that, it'll be like the start of a word with a dot after it. And that means that the syntax is like a period. I can't even think of a good example. But like instead of like avenue, it'll say like Ave, A-V-E with a period. And so, you know, in that case, the answer is going to be like a similar, like, abbreviated word, but abbreviated in the same way. And so there's no punctuation in the crossword, but if the clue is like Ave, then your answer would need to be like a shortened word like that in the same way. We're here. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. No, it's not goats. Thought it was gonna be goats. It's not goats. Could be rhinos. That might be wrong though. Well, we'll find out on this episode of Skylarka in the morning. Oh man, I could call these streams Skylarka in the morning. I do like Sunday brunch and chill, but it would be funny. And here's another type of clue that you often see. So you can see it's in quotes, and it says blank Brockovich. That means that it's like the name of something. It's just a fill in the blank. It has Aaron Brockovich, which is a person, but also a movie about the person. Ba, 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 ba. I feel like I should know long fish, but I don't. Finally on the down clues. We've been at this for 47 minutes. Well, I guess at the crossword for 30 minutes. And I only just am getting to the downs. Well, something here is wrong. Probably nibs. I could always check the puzzle, but I like to get through at least one round of up to across and down before I do a check. Genus subdivision. I'm like, genus, isn't that like family or clade or something like that? That's species. Oh, it's species! Genus is down to bottom. Species. I've never heard of TV's The Sinner, so I don't know who that is. Pertaining to... This could be bears or it could be worms. I'm gonna just leave that for now. Parting mott. What? Oh, parting mott. I don't even know what a mott is. My mouth tracking is so much better with the iPhone. I am like blown away. It's so good. Ba, 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 ba. Making a little progress here. Have to just focus. Focus on the puzzle. Focus on the puzzle. Like potatoes. Is it bad that I want this? Because the clue is it's. I want it to be the me. It's a me! It's a me! It's a me! Mario! I feel like it's probably not. But that would be the best. I would be absolutely thrilled if that were the answer. All sharks are predatory, my dudes. All of them. That's what makes them sharks, man. Is it out? I didn't realize it was already out. I know that Chris Pratt is still remains an interesting choice for the voice of Mario. To put it kindly, I suppose. Yeah, I get you. I don't think it's out yet. I think we're still in the promotion phase of the Mario movie, but yeah, my favorite thing about it remains that time that Chris Pratt put that thing on Instagram where he was like, it's me, Mario. That's not the voice. And then, like, they released the first trailer for the movie, and Mario goes, it's me, Mario. Exactly the same way as he did in that video. It's so good. It's so good. Like, that was totally the voice. Totally the voice. March 31st or April, or early April? Yeah. Okay. So it's not out yet. I will probably see it, but I'm probably gonna wait for it to come out on, like, streaming because, you know. I stay home most of the time. I don't really go out to public places because I don't want to get sick. I'm currently still technically recovering from mouth surgery. I can eat a lot more today, like, than I could last week. Like, I was able to eat some raw apples. I couldn't have done that last week. Did I just say raw potatoes? I meant raw apples if I said raw potatoes. Something in my brain made me think that I said raw potatoes. I don't even know if that's what I said, but don't eat raw potatoes, that will make you sick. Although I'm pretty sure there's one kind of Japanese potato that you can eat raw that's a true potato. It's not like a sweet potato. I feel like I heard about that. It's not something I can really check right now, but I think that there is. I think that there is a Japanese variety of potato that you can eat raw, and it's the only variety of potato in the world that you can safely eat raw. I think that's a thing. I don't know. I thought the dog's name on the Muppet Show was Ralph. Hey, I said that raw potatoes will make you sick. There's only one special kind of potato. Only one. Don't eat raw potatoes unless you're absolutely sure it's the one special kind of potato that you can eat raw. Gotta get those special potatoes. Super special potatoes. I thought that this clue, piano playing dog on the Muppet Show, I thought his name was Ralph, but I'm pretty sure that this clue is correct. Like crudité, because that's raw. Like crudité is just a raw veggie platter. It's a fancy French word for something incredibly boring. Maybe his name is like Rolf, like there's a W there. I'm not sure. Does anybody know? Am I way off track? I really thought his name was Ralph. Yeah, the dog. The Muppet Show dog who plays the piano. Is his name Ralph? Yeah, that's what I thought. Ralph. We got this W here, right? But, and I thought that Raw was definitely right, but maybe Raw is wrong. Because, like I said, I'm pretty sure his name is Ralph. But then, at the same time, a lot of times crosswords will use hints that are like deliberate misspellings of words. So, like, maybe his name is Rolf, the dog, like, because, like, rough, you know, and it's like R-A-W-P-H instead of L-P-H. And we all just thought it was Ralph, but it's Rolf, because he's a dog. I don't know. This is probably O-I-C. Sometimes crosswords do that, and I kind of hate these clues like this one. See, it's like I was talking about the syntax thing before, but it's this little like common phrase in quotes, and it's 3 words in quotes, and it says "make sense now." So you want a 3-word similar phrase that means the same thing or is used the same way. So I think it's O-I-C, and that works with la-di-da. I have no idea what the bird voted most likely to succeed is, so we're not even going to stress about that right now. So yeah, that seems like it's probably the answer. A lot of Muppets. Muppet with a puppy named Tango. I have no idea about that one. I've watched a lot of Muppets in my life, and I don't know that one. Ba, 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 ba. I like that I can buzz my lips like that, and they kind of move a little bit on the model now. It's kind of great. It's really good. probably forward. Is it wise? Could be wise. I'm being a little bit liberal in terms of what I'm throwing on the puzzle, because thankfully these digital crosswords have the check button, so we're just gonna go through everything. I'm gonna throw a bunch of stuff in here, and then I'm just gonna hit the check button, and then we'll remove anything that's wrong, which you might think is cheating, but Sunday puzzles are hard, man. I'm pretty sure this is actually not wise. Not gonna put that one. Big sandwich. Up, 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 up. Kilns! Finally, another one I knew right away. Ba, 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 ba. What's this? I want to say this is loam, but then dance wouldn't fit here. Ba, 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 ba.
Have confidence.
Hard Cinco! Hello! Hello, hello! Welcome. Welcome, welcome. I'm trying to have confidence, but Sunday puzzles are tough. And my mate is empty. It's just leaves in there. Hello. We got the mate
Hey
cam
Sky,
going on.
chat wants you to tune up. Hit that pitch pipe.
Oh, pitch pipe. We got a pitch pipe. Burp, 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 burp. I'm gonna play an A. A. Well, then I gotta take a quick break. I don't wanna go away. I'm having a good time. You know, having a good time here. I need water for the mate, but I don't wanna go away. Also, I'm pretty sure I might have. I do have a hot water thermos. I should use. That's a great idea. Oh, that's what I should do. Pop, pop, pop. A photo of my drugs. It is a photo of my drugs. It's a photo of my caffeinated drugs. That's brilliant. Well, I mean, technically, mate has caffeine in it. Caffeine's a drug, right? At least according to that guy's friend that talked to Ian McKay. You probably all have no idea what I'm talking about, but there's this old clip. There is this guy. He's like an old school punk rock guy. He was part of this movement that's super anti-drugs called the straight edge movement in punk rock in like the 90s. And his name's Ian McKay. He was in the band Minor Threat. And because he didn't ever intend it to be a movement. He just didn't want to use drugs, and so he like wrote about not using drugs and being frustrated with lots of people using drugs around him in the punk rock scene. And his music, right? No big deal. and people turned it into this movement and got like really extremist about it and weird, and he didn't like that, and so he publicly distanced himself from it and whatever, and he still is around, he still plays music, he's in different bands and doing solo stuff. But many years ago now, probably like 10-15 years ago at least, he was in this documentary where they were talking about that era of music. And there's a clip that is on YouTube that I have seen of Ian MacKaye telling this story, and it is incredible. He's like sitting there and he's just like this kind of like schlubby guy, and he tells this story of how one time a fan came up to him and he was drinking an iced tea, like a can of iced tea, probably like an Arizona iced tea or something, I think. And this kid comes up to him and he goes, "Dude, you're Ian MacKaye. Dude, you're drinking iced tea." And Ian MacKaye goes, "Yeah." And then the kid goes, "Well, you know, my friend says caffeine's a drug." And so Ian MacKaye, in this incredible deadpan voice, is like, "And so I said, yeah, tell your friend, fuck you." And it is absolutely glorious. You should go and look that up on YouTube. Ian MacKaye, like, tell your friend, fuck you. It's so funny. It's so funny. Oh man. So yeah, so according to Ian MacKaye, caffeine is not a drug, but according to some kid's friend who confronted Ian MacKaye about iced tea, caffeine is a drug. So I think that the jury is out on this one, and that caffeine could be a drug. In which case, everybody who talks about caffeine is on Twitch could be in big trouble. Oh, Mario, you didn't know that he was actually... Yeah, because so Minor Threat has a song called I Have Got the Straight Edge, and it's about, like, how, because he's... It's like, basically the song, I don't know the words to the song, per se, but the gist of it, like, what he was going for is, like, a whole bunch of people around me in the community are strung out on drugs, and it's very frustrating, and so I'm not doing those things, and so I've got the straight edge. Like, I'm not using these things. I've got a straight edge because I'm not dabbling in this bad stuff, and that's where the name came from. Punks, stop creating cults out of highly specific ideas. Challenge impossible. Yeah, that is impossible. That's like, yeah. I mean, everybody's kind of prone to, like, latching on to an idea and taking it way too far. I think that's something that people do kind of everywhere. Yeah, primitivists. Yeah. But you don't want to go live in a cabin in Oregon with John Zerzan with no power and just, like, eat dirt or something, or whatever the hell John Zerzan wants to do. That guy's weird, man. He's real weird. But I love eating Oregonian dirt. Yeah, it's full of microbes. It's good for you, right? Yeah, I don't think that it's just a punk rock problem, right? I think it's just human nature. So dance is wrong here. There is something. This is probably a loam. Oh, I know what this is gonna be. This is gonna be Maori. I'm gonna take some water. Have some water. What was I talking? Oh yeah. So I think that, like, latching onto things in that way and taking them way too far, I think that's just human nature, because you see it a lot in, like, fandoms too. People just, like, take things way too far. You see it on the internet when, like, somebody does something that's maybe, like, poor taste, even if it's, like, an honest mistake, and then people start sending them, like, death threats and stuff. Like, that's way too far. That's super messed up. You should never do that to somebody, but people do it. They just latch on to, like, bad thing must go crazy. And so I think it's just kind of a tendency that people have, right? Like, it's something we all have to learn how to keep in check, to like make sure that we're not turning into zealots about something that we care about. And it can be both good and bad, right? Like you could be I don't know, like you could be really into model kits, Mara DeCinco. But then if you like do a lot of model kits and collect model kits and are like always working on like gunplas and stuff, like it's great. That's really cool. That's a great hobby, right? But then if you take it too far and maybe you spend literally all of your money on gunpla kits and build the Zeta Gundam and maybe build a house made out of gunpla sprues and like everything in your life is just gunpla and you do nothing else, that's taking it too far. You know? So like, yeah, you can do it with good stuff that is otherwise good. It's like not doing drugs. Not doing drugs is good. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad for you. But becoming weird and culty and harassing people who are drinking iced tea, no, that's not cool, man. That's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. But yeah, I think it's just kind of just how people are. We all have to keep that in check a little bit sometimes. This is also why the English language 5-star stories fandom died. Did people get into horrible fights about it for like no real reason? Kind of like Star Wars. People just go nuts and fight with each other about like cute fun fiction stuff. I know the 5-star stories. I have watched the OVAs, but I don't know the story about why the English fandom for it died. The most prominent 5-star stories fan who posts highly informative content is also an aggressive terms searcher who yells at people who say things wrong because there's so little resources for good info on the Gano and 5-star stories. Oh, hello, Mr. Hamster! The opossum is hanging out and doing crossword and just chatting. Nice slow Sunday morning. Yeah, I think you're right, Coyote. That's why Homestuck is like ground zero for those community horror stories. Yeah, people just get way too into it. And then like do things super weird. That's funny, as somebody with JoJo's brain rot, I feel like it kind of is the same with JoJo's, but also the inverse, right? Like, people are way too into JoJo's, but a lot of the times, people who are way too into JoJo's have never read or watched JoJo's. They just really like JoJo's memes, and they like watch all these like meme fake videos of like fake subtitles on interviews with Hirohiko Araki talking about JoJo's, and then they're like, yeah, JoJo's is like this, and it's like something completely fucking insane that someone made for a joke. So yeah, it's the JoJo's fandom is absolutely horrible. I avoid it, even though it's my favorite thing in the world. Good old JoJo's. You know, we all could use a little bit more brain rot. Oh boy, yeah. Well, I will say I don't think that Poochie is black, because he hires those Klansmen guys in Part 6. He might be, but I don't know about that one. But I also don't really care He doesn't have a black dad. No, he doesn't. So Poochie grows up in a southern white family in the USA, and he hires in the manga he grows up in a family in the USA in the South, and his twin brother, Weather Report, is stolen at birth from the hospital by a woman whose infant died, and that woman is married to a black man. And so Weather Report is raised in a mixed race house, and Poochie does not know this about Weather Report, and then he learns that his younger sister, so Poochie as a teen learns that his younger sister is falling in love with Weather Report, and he learns that Weather Report is his twin brother who was stolen at birth. And so he's like, oh no, my sister is falling in love with my brother, and this is horrible and incestuous, and I need to stop it. So Poochie goes to like a kind of a thug, and he pays this thug kind of like investigator guy. He's like, hey, investigate this guy Weather Report, and I need to figure out a way to get him and my sister to not get together. And he doesn't tell the guy why. He doesn't tell him that he's my brother separated at birth or anything. He's just like, I need to like stop this from happening. I need to break these two up. And so the investigator guy goes and he checks out Weather Report, and he sees that Weather Report has a black dad. Now, the thing is that's not Weather Report's biological father. That's the guy who is married to the woman who stole Weather Report at birth and claimed that he was her biological son. It's convoluted. And so that guy sees that Weather Report has a black dad, and he's a racist, horrible man, and so he freaks out, and they try to lynch Weather Report. And then Poochie is like, oh my god, I killed my own brother, and freaks out and uses the stand arrow. So that's the saga of Poochie and Weather. Twins separated at birth, victims of racism because of that. So yeah, I don't think we ever actually see Poochie's father in the manga or the anime. We see his younger sister, and we see Weather Report, and I think we see his mother. Hey Coleman, what's going on? Cap got me on a JoJo's rant. I'm so sorry. I'm just talking about JoJo's. I'll stop. But yeah, so that's the deal with Poochie. And Weather. It is one of the most convoluted things in JoJo's, but that's the story. That's how the story goes. Let's get back to our puzzle here. Oh, I'm sorry if it was spoilers. But you know, part 6 came out in the early 2000s, so like, I can't be too sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry you were trying to sleep and you popped in. I mean, I'm glad you popped in, but if you're trying to sleep, I'm sorry that you're like up. If you want to be in bed. Okay, as long as you're not concerned with spoilers. So yeah, I would talk about JoJo's all day. It's a problem. Like, I have big time, like, I've mentioned it a couple of times and I try to restrain myself, but as you saw there, like, I have big time JoJo's brain rot. And it's part of why I get frustrated with the fandom. Because it like, weirdly, for like a stupid anime and manga franchise, there's like, I want to say like misinformation, even about things like that whole arc with Weather and Poochie is very convoluted. But even like very basic things, like very basic plot points about JoJo's, people will like argue about them and be like, no, that's not what happened, that's what happened. And it's like not even like a symbolism or anything. It's literally just like a plot point, like Joestars go to Egypt in part 3. No, they didn't do that, they went blah, 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 blah. And it's very strange. Very strange. And yes, JoJo Lands is incredible. JoJo Lands is the new JoJo's part. It is part 9. And yes, I have very much enjoyed the first chapter of JoJo Lands. It's 70 pages long. First chapter of this new series, and it is 70 pages because my boy Araki delivers. Ba, 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 ba. Yeah, that's happening in JoJo's right now too, because JoJo's came out, like the new JoJo's came out, right? There's the JoJo Lands is the new issue, came out on Friday in Japan, so Thursday in the US, and there's a scanlation group that put out a scanlation extremely quickly, like in minutes. From the release. It was like nuts how quickly they got it turned around. And there's, you know, like any scanlation that comes out very quickly, there's some like kind of little translation mistakes and some stuff that could have been done different or better, and some of it's probably machine translated, but overall the translation is pretty good. But there's definitely components that are machine translated, and elements where like it's clearly done by folks who don't know a ton about Japanese slang, and stuff like that. And so like you miss some of the nuance and you miss some of whatever looking at the scanlations without looking at what's in Japanese. And now there's all of a sudden, because there's some controversial stuff, and I'm not going to spoil it because it literally just came out, but there's some, I guess it's not really controversial stuff, but there's some stuff like there is a character. I will say this. There is a character who appears to be trans, who uses for themselves feminine first-person pronouns, and this character's brother refers to them as bro. And that's it. That's, you know, Japanese. Everybody generally refers to you by your name. There's no like second-person or third-person pronouns really, and so this one character who uses all of the feminine versions of everything, uses the feminine, like extremely feminine version of the I pronoun, atashi, in casual conversation. And the scanlation uses he pronouns for this character because their brother calls him bro. Right? They call their brother calls them Ani, which is bro. And so like I get how that happened, but now there are like armies of people on the internet, because the internet is a horrible, toxic place. There's armies of people arguing about whether this person should be referred to as he or she or they or a mix of pronouns. And like there's like people like, yeah, the scanlation uses he, so they're a man and they're he and they're blah blah blah, and it's like, it's a scanlation, my dudes. Like they cranked this out so quickly, and it's like it's not anything official. Like Japanese doesn't have he and she. That's not a thing in Japanese. Like, it's just, yeah. So I hear you. I hear you, Cap. I hear you big time. But all of the fan controversy aside, I try to avoid that stuff. And I'm talking about it now, and I may regret it later. But, you know, I think it's good to at least mention it, because I'm talking about JoJo's a lot. But, like, it's fine, it's fine. Just all that controversy aside, like, I thought JoJo Lands was great, and I'm gonna avoid all of the controversy around that and the character stuff. But, like, for me, at least, this character...
Chat wants you to tune up. Hit that pitch pipe.
I'll hit the pitch pipe in a second. Did the animation not go through? There's supposed to be an animation with that. I'll have to check that. Before I play the pitch pipe, the last thing I'm gonna say about this JoJo's thing is the character uses atashi, which is a very feminine form of saying I to refer to themselves. And so I'm just gonna assume that if you're using that pronoun in Japanese and you look like a lady, that in English you would use she, her pronouns. That's kind of where I'm at. And I don't really care if that, like, until we have something official or more information about it, whatever. It's a fictional character, man. Like, please chill. Please chill, everyone. Cap, you're gonna get a G sharp. G sharp. Yeah. In Spanish, gender is not even a pronoun thing. Everything is gendered, and it's, yeah, exactly. Like, people get real weird about stuff, not understanding that it's different in different cultures and languages. And people in English are very strange about it. You're welcome for the G sharp. I hope you enjoyed it. Yes, Giselle, that is a great way to put it. The whole JoJo's fandom is a fucking cesspool of smooth brains. Yup. That's basically it. That's basically it. Oh boy. So this is probably an S. Oh, this is wrong. Because this is issue 2. Yeah, too many reactionary online 15-year-olds in Japanese fandoms. Yeah. Too many reactionary people generally and everything. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. I just want everybody to be excellent to each other. And people are not, you know? But that's the way we should all be. We should be excellent to each other. Because if we're excellent to each other, then we can party on, dudes. And really, isn't that the whole goal in life? Yeah. Exactly. Ba. This puzzle's tough. Well, one thing about Japanese is that, like, nobody in the West understands is there's something like 17 commonly used pronouns and, like, 10 really archaic ones, and they contain a wealth of information, like your economic background, if you're rural, if you're well-to-do, but how you say I. Yeah. How you say I is providing a ton of information about yourself in Japanese. And it can also, how you say I can change depending on context. And so a lot of, like, to go back to the atashi pronoun, right? Atashi is an I pronoun that is used by a lot of, like, little girls and then very feminine identified women, usually young women. It is also used as a gender-neutral pronoun in ultra extremely formal settings. So, like, if you're meeting, like, the Emperor of Japan, you're gonna probably use atashi as your pronoun. Because atashi, being an extremely feminine pronoun and with the centuries of historical gender roles, by using a feminine pronoun like this in a formal setting is basically a more feminine variation of watashi that is more formal. You are self-effacing and showing deference. And so in these extremely formal contexts, atashi becomes a gender-neutral pronoun. But in everyday casual conversation, it is a feminine pronoun. And so these are things where you need to understand the context and the language and the way people are using words. Yeah. Like, and it's not even just younger women, but like older men referring to younger women as name kun. Yeah, kun is like it's like a term of endearment and respect for a younger person. Yes. Yeah, and then, yeah, Mirren, like, Spanish is the same. Like, there's gender information that is lost when you translate from Spanish to English that provides context and information in Spanish that just doesn't exist in English. Like, the language doesn't have that information that is, like, it's not conveyed. It just doesn't exist. But, like, in terms of pronouns, like the... Well, like, Giselle, I think like chan or kun, like the suffixes are they're kind of a similar thing, right? Like Japan, like you could say like boku, it means I, and ore means I, and atashi means I, and watashi means I, and there's several other words for I, and they all mean different things and are used in different contexts and mean different things when you use them in different contexts. Like, if you're a young man, you might use ore to mean I, right? And you might use that among your friends. But ore is extremely informal and is considered crude when you're using it with people who are like your teachers or you're at work. Like, you wouldn't use it at work because it's casual language. And so if you have somebody who uses ore all the time, and this happens in anime, right? There's characters who use ore to mean I. And so like the idea is that, like, if you use ore, it's very masculine. It's like a super masculine pronoun, and it is a super crude pronoun. And so if there's some dude in your favorite anime who calls himself ore when he says I, and is like doing that all the time, he is a rude dude. He is a like super masculine rude dude. He's a bastard. And that information is conveyed literally whenever he says I. So you don't get that information in the English translation, either in the dub or you're reading subtitles unless you're listening for the Japanese. Atashi is the same way, but kind of the inverse, right? It's like you're a polite lady if you're using atashi as your pronoun in casual conversation. So that's kind of the deal. Yeah. Like what Giselle said. Yeah, similar to what I explained. Like, it's all about context, right? Like, it's all about context and who's using the word and how they're using the word, but it's literally the only translation for that word is I. And so there's all of this extra information that's conveyed in terms of how people speak. And Cap, you're good. Yeah, there's always exceptions. There's always exceptions in every language. And it's that context and the additional information that is lost when you translate. And I feel like as someone who speaks English as my first and really only language I'm fluent in, there's definitely information that I convey with words that I use in English that is certainly lost when it gets translated to another language, right? But the thing about people who are primarily monolingual is that they don't necessarily understand that. Like, if you have not spent a lot of time studying languages, you might not get that, like, when you translate something, it's not one for one. Like, there is no such thing as a one-for-one translation. Like, literal translation is not real. There is always a layer of interpretation. And Maru could certainly talk about this at great length, because Maru has done professional translation work. I have not. I just know a little bit about language and have studied a little bit of multiple languages. But yeah, I'm well traveled enough to know this. Ba ba ba. I'm gonna put seer here. I think this is he, she, it, reflexive pronoun. Yeah. Like, English, like dialectical and like accented words, right? Like the way you say stuff instead of the specific words you're choosing conveys a whole lot of information. Like, I could say, because it's fun, I can say the word fuck, right? I could say, fuck. Or I could say, fuck. Or I could say, fuck. And those all mean very different things. And it's the context that is communicated by how I say it. Right? And you know, if you're a native English speaker, you know the difference between those things. If you're not a native English speaker, you might not be able to tell. And that's, like, that's how language works. Language is weird, man. And Japanese is the same way, but with different stuff. Exactly. Like, you've got the dialect, and you've got accents, and you have the way people emphasize words, and then you have specific word choices in Japanese. And all of those things change the meaning. Language is cool. I should get back into studying Japanese. I did Duolingo for a couple of years, and I learned a decent amount, but, like, certainly never enough to be able to speak the language. And I have Wanikani. I've gotten to, like, level 15 and restarted, like, twice in Wanikani. I should probably dig into that again, because I think Japanese is a really interesting language. Miriam, true, something I've noticed. In Spanish, there's only two genders. Objects use male or female genders. In English, there's a third gender, but only used on objects. Yeah, the they gender, which some people use, but it's in the language, it's meant, or originally, or primarily is used on objects. And in Russian, there's three genders, but the third gender is sometimes used for groups, and the male-female are sometimes used for objects. Interesting. Yeah. Like, language is so cool, right? The way that all of this stuff is communicated and like mixes and matches and it's so interesting to me. Like the different ways that languages work. Look, we're having a linguistic anthropology stream while we do a crossword puzzle. This is like super nerd. Thanks for hanging out and being nerds with me. Ba, ba, ba. I think this is gonna be best, right? Bird voted most likely to succeed. Best something. Oh, I just remembered something I meant to talk about ages ago. Since I got the iPhone, I can do something new. I can wink! I can wink! couldn't do that before. But I can. Yeah, the power of iPhone. Oh, this is waffle. I don't know what the rest is, but this is definitely waffle. Message is hidden in some brunch fare. Ba, 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 ba. Winking has been monetized. I could make a redeem where you pay me bits and I wink for you. That's what we're all here for, right? You're just here to give me money. That's the whole point now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Something a lot of people don't take into account, especially when 90% of the time it's not someone who understands lingual nuance, but instead is like, hello, I'm 19, I use Google Translate, the least accurate translation software for this manga! Yeah, for sure. It's something that, like, people might not necessarily even think about, or if they do think about it, they might have, like, the very basics. Oh, God! Oh, another thing I can do? I can do now. I don't know if it's something that other people are, maybe aware of, but when I was first getting into VTubers, one of the first VTubers that I got really into was Sakura Miko in Hololive. And when, at the time, she primarily uses her 2D model now, but at the time, Miko was largely using yes, Sakura Miko! Yes! So at the time, she was using a 3D model a lot. And I don't know why, but like all the time, she would play games and she'd just be like this. And so I can do this now. I would lose tracking before when I tried, but now I can do the Sakura Miko. Fuck! Elite! Yes, I love Miko. I actually have the Sakura Miko wall scroll that they put out a little while ago, but I have not hung it up yet. I don't know where I want to put it. I was initially going to put it behind a display case, but like the scroll is so beautiful that like I don't really want it to be hidden behind a case, right? I would like to have it fully visible. Painting on my current rig was it. Aw, man, that's excellent. That's so good, Coleman. I love that. I absolutely love that. Oh, she is a, so Sakura Miko is she's just a cute little pink lady. Opossum fact 42! Yeah, so Miko she's just a cute, very cute pink shrine maiden lady. She has a ridiculous voice. She streams on YouTube, like most Hololive. Alright, so Possum Fact 42 for Captain Hurricane. Former U.S. President William Howard Taft loved eating opossums. For this reason, we are anti-Taft on this channel. Yep, that's true. Some people, they eat possums as food. I would think as a fellow small mammal, you would understand, Cap, that's frightening. I think Mark Twain also used to eat opossum. He wrote highly about how delicious it was, I think. I don't know how you would cook it. people also ate hedgehogs. Hedgehogs are so small. Like, possums at least get pretty big, but hedgehogs, you all are very, very small. Oh no! Don't eat me! Please don't eat me, please! Please, please, please. No, 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 no. Yeah. Mirren, that's understandable. That's understandable. Especially if you're mostly a Twitch person, like you're not gonna catch Hollow really. They don't do Twitch. Ba ba ba. Oh yeah, Giselle, that's a really good description of Sakura Miko. Thank you. Better than I could come up with in my under-caffeinated state. I really gotta refill my mate here, but I'm trying to get at least to 2 hours before we take a quick break. Accumulates. Oh yeah, her GTA 5 clips are so good. So good. Her like, she plays a character in GTA 5 who is like a ridiculous like clown man. It's so funny. No. Yeah, that's legit. For me, it was Miko and Korone and Kiryu Koko. Those were the three that like sucked me down the rabbit hole. And here we are. Now I am a VTuber. I feel like that's what happens. Like, you get sucked in by a VTuber, and then you fall in love with VTubers, and then you become VTuber. That's the way. Reject humanity, become VTuber. It is the path, the VTuber path, and we are all at different stages in our VTuber journey. Do not judge. If someone's not a VTuber yet, don't judge them. They will be. Yep. Yes, it's like vampires, but you slowly suck yourself into it. Exactly. Exactly. That's just how it is. Inverted vamping. VTuber inverted vamping. Yes. Alright, I'm gonna check the grid on this puzzle because I'm having some trouble here and I feel like maybe I have some stuff that's wrong that I think is right, and that's what's throwing me. Less wrong than I thought. Look at this. Oh, this is in Spanish. It's islas. That's why. Oh. Like Ollie from Hollow Indonesia, she joined HoloLive so she could simp extra hard at all the ladies she loved. Oh my god, that's dedication. That's where we're all headed, right? The simpers become the simped. It's an endless cycle. Man, I'm pretty stumped. Pretty stumped here. You know, I think even though we're all here and we're all busy, don't go away. I'm gonna go and heat up some more water, and if there's enough water in the kettle, I will fill up a thermos so I can just refill the mate in here. I'm gonna go and refill my yerba mate though, because I need more caffeine to finish this puzzle. So don't go away. I will be back in maybe 5 minutes or so, not too long. And when I go AFK, I will run a quick ad and maybe one right before I come back, just so that folks who are coming in don't have to deal with the pre-roll. So if you're subscribed, you won't see the ads, but they'll just run over the AFK screen. I will not even be at the keyboard when the ads are running, so don't worry, you're not gonna miss a thing. I will be right back. Don't go away.
Deliberate murder. There's only one explanation. My vengeance needs blood. Deliberate murder. Deliberate murder. Deliberate murder. Deliberate murder. There's only one explanation.
I'm back, I'm back. Hello. As you can see, the mate is now full. Thank you for waiting. Thank you for waiting. I apologize, it took a little longer than I expected with the kettle nice and full to fill up the thermos, which is now all full of water. It took just a minute to, a little extra time to get things nice and full, or nice and hot. But now it's nice and full. What were y'all talking about while I was gone? Oh man, figure collecting. Yeah. Plastic. Love that plastic stuff. I have a small figure collection. It's a lot of JoJo's, as you may expect. I also have a collection of the Shoujo Marvel figures, which I absolutely love those. Just very cute lady versions of lady superheroes. Count me in. Good stuff. Yeah, it's art. It belongs in a museum. Yep. Good stuff. Good stuff, figure collecting. So one thing I gotta say that I am loving, absolutely loving about having this iPhone, I don't mean to derail the conversation, we'll get back to figures in a second, is that I don't need to have my ring light on. Like, the tracking works much better without even the ring light that I've been relying on to keep my tracking accurate. And that's great. It's so great. Oh man, yeah, D12s. And the price on D12s has gone up, at least in my area. They used to be like 80 USD, and now they're like 110 USD. Sucks! Sweet mate. I am so glad that Maru stopped by and gave me this thermos idea, because, yeah, that is fantastic. I will refill as needed now for the rest of the stream. Is that Crash? So this could be Prana. Yeah, and this is Enlisted. IKEA Omar's Far more cost effective, but the dust, yeah, that's the nice thing about the D12s is they keep the dust to a minimum. And you can, I haven't done it with any of mine, but you can even, like, with the D12s, you can put, like, weather stripping around the edges of the door and, like, completely seal it up. Another thing that I've done that is, not to toot my own horn, but that I think is pretty ingenious, is I bought some cheap fish tanks from the pet supply store. And I got some like foam core board that was like a 1/2 inch thick, and I cut it to fit. And then I put like a little base underneath it so that the foam core slips right in to the fish tank when I put the fish tank on it upside down. And then there's like a base for it to sit on. And for the fish tank to sit on, I mean. And so I use upside down fish tanks as figure display cases. And the one thing is that because of the size and shape of fish tanks, Giselle has seen them. Giselle knows about the fish tanks. They look really good, but the one downside is that they are small. Like, you can't put figures that are too tall in there or too wide in there, because trying to get the fish tank down over it's a little bit of work. It's a little bit of trouble. But they are really great. Really great displays. And you could do it with larger fish tanks if you had more room. But yeah. Well, and it's not really scary if you're talking about the fish tanks. They're like super cheap. They're like, I think they might be glass, they might be plexiglass, but they were like $20 a piece, and they're super light. They're not heavy. And so the main thing is making sure that your figures will fit. And so you just like, yeah, like the super cheap fish tanks, you know, like the mega cheap, like super lightweight ones. And then you just, like, I just put the figures in, like, on the base that I made, and then I slide the fish tank down on top, and then you can stack multiple fish tanks on top of each other because they're light and they're made to hold water. So they're made to hold like 12 gallons of water or something each, and so they like fit together really well because they're the same size and they can support the weight. It looks nice. It's like a little display case for like small figures. It works great. So I maybe I'll post a picture of it on Twitter or something after stream, so y'all can see what I am talking about. Which I am on Twitter. If you're on Twitter, you should drop me a follow. Not that Twitter is the best place to be right now, but yeah. They would be great for Nendos. They would be definitely great for Nendos. Yeah, so this is the Muppet thing. Like we thought, it's Rolf. Not Ralph. Rolf. R-A-W-L-F is his name. Rolf. So we were right, it is Ralph. But I was right, it's spelled funny. Yeah, Dumpy! Oh yeah! That's 7TV emote. And if you use 7TV, you can use that right now. And thank you all for hanging out so much. I'm having a great time. I hope you're having a great time. Yeah, them dumpies. Dumpy time. Still waiting on Twitch to approve that one. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Yeah, I put the Dumpy and the Wiggle emotes into Twitch, like, well, I put the Wiggle too, and I put them both in, like, as soon as I got affiliate, and they're both still pending approval. Whereas I put all the static emotes in, like, as soon as I got them from Viola, like, last week, and they all were immediately approved. It was, like, instantaneous. Well, I would think that the Wiggly at least should make it through. There's nothing wrong with the Wiggly. Everybody has a Wiggly. But yet, the Wiggly is, oh my god, your Dumpy is so good, Captain. I love it. I love Dumpy emotes. I think they're so funny. And I understand that Twitch doesn't like them, and I don't know why. It's not like that. It's not a butt. It's a little circle. It's a dance. There's nothing remotely sexual about a Dumpy emote. Toot. Yeah, I saw an episode ages ago of False ID talking about how Twitch was banning people's Dumpy emotes, and like, yeah, it's a mess. I don't understand how it is sexual, or how they even could think it is sexual. But, you know, such are the times, I suppose. I think these are like esters, right? Fragrant compounds are esters. And this is crashed, perhaps? Maybe crashes? In this present tense? Yeah, strikes out, says crashes. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Small detail. SPE blank. I don't know. I don't know. Good night, Coleman. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you can get some rest. I'm sorry you're up so late. Sleep well. Good night. Thank you for coming. Waffle codes. Waffle codes. Oh, a speck is the small detail, of course. Is this Adonis? I don't know Hebrew. I don't know if Adonis is a Hebrew word, but it seems like it might be Adonis. I'm gonna put that and I'm gonna check it. Check word. It is not Adonis. But the add-on is right. Okay. My nose was very itchy. I just attacked it with my fingers. That's a seat. This is child seat. This is dialed. Just a little bit more caffeine and suddenly I'm busting out on this crossword. This is hero. This is held. This is ills. IRL. Chic. It was literally just a few extra sips of mate, and now I'm in like brain mode. Brain mode. Here we go. Etzels. Gall. 16 down. What is 16 down? With 100 down, change one's approach and hint to the circled letters. I have no idea right now. Attire. Yesterday and tomorrow. That's probably an S, because it's plural. Although. See, this is what I was talking about. See how there's like an apostrophe, and this is like however. It means however, but it's not the whole word. Alright, I'm refilling the mate. But because it's not the whole word, it's just like however for however, that means that the answer is going to be similarly weirdly abbreviated, but you can't put the apostrophes because it's a crossword puzzle. And so it's although, and it's just like part of the word, and you gotta imagine there's an apostrophe on the end, like that however, right? This is elates. Songs. Yesterday and tomorrow are both songs. I'm not sure what. It's something years. I would say like switch or change, but Zest was right when we checked the grid, so it's not either. It's not switch or change, but it's something, some word like that that fits in this slot here. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I thought this would be eel, but it's not. It could be eels, but it's not a plural hint, so it's probably not. The answer to this one, Indy 500 family name, should definitely be Hurricane. Because Captain Hurricane is a racing hedgehog, and you would think a big race like the Indy 500 that the family name would be Hedgehog, or would not Hedgehog, would be Hurricane, right? But it's clearly that's too short. So this crossword has bad information here. Just saying. Just saying. Yeah, that's you. Yeah. Yeah, regretty upsetty. Happy birthday, by the way, Captain. It's your birthday today, isn't it? Let's do a... I'm gonna give you a shout out because Captain Hurricane. Tomorrow. Well, still. Tomorrow is your birthday, but I'm not streaming tomorrow, so I'm giving you a shout out now. Watch Captain's Hurricane stream. Ah, yes. Makes sense, makes sense. Yeah, of course. Ba, 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 ba. I bet it's Elmo. I bet Elmo has a puppy. And I just don't know about Elmo's puppy. Fabrication is a lie. Is it pest? I don't know what else it would be. Let's see. It's not pest. Oh, and crashes is wrong. Must be Rolf, not Ralph. Yeah, so that's Rolf. But then, what is this? Strikes out. Oh, cross the... Ah, I was thinking baseball, but it's about a list. See, this is the thing that crosswords do. They get all, like, sneaky. So it's strikes out. It's not baseball strikes. It's striking something from your list. You're crossing it off the list. Toot. Some tablets. Those not iPads. It's not pills. Ba, ba, ba. Ba, ba, ba. Man, this puzzle's kicking my butt. I feel like last week I did a better job than this. This could be stir. Agitate. Stir it up. Let's see. No. Okay, so if this is not stir, then this might be salve. Yeah! Now we're talking. Finally got something in this area. I wonder if this is eels. Because fish, oh! Fish is singular and plural. It's totally eels. You wily little crossword puzzle makers. Da, 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 da. This is out of something. Is reroute. Let's see. I'm getting super stumped here. This is a tough puzzle. Tough puzzle indeed. Now, Lon? I feel like I've heard that name, Lon Chaney. Yeah, that's a person. What's it? Pants measurement is inseams. This is ma'am. Let's see. That's not ma'am. But that A was right. Teacher from the old school? What would it possibly be if not ma'am? I think this is just out of reach, and I don't know what that means. Oh, it could be peach. Just out of peach, and it's a pun. Yep, that's what it is. Just out of peach. Because it's Atlanta, and that's in Georgia, and it's the Georgia peach. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. I see, I see. Is that an R? Yeah, marm. I don't know what a marm is, but R is the thing that made the most sense here, so... Apparently, teacher from the old school is a marm. I don't know what that is. But, look, we still solved the puzzle. We still solved the puzzle. Still figured it out. That's what you do. You use your brain, figure things out, you reason it through. Sometimes you have no idea what the hell they're talking about when you do a crossword puzzle. That happens to me a lot, actually. I think it's feh, but I don't know. I'm not gonna put it yet. Cot. Roll away cot. Bet this is better fish. Maybe it's better fish? I'm gonna check the grid again. It's not better fish. I don't know any other fish that spelled that way. At least off the top of my brain right now. More caffeine is the answer. Alright, you know what I'm gonna do? Is help me. Please help me. I am struggling. Please help me. If you know answers, please help me. Please help me. Oh, this is change. Cost something change. Right? Halloween rental fee. Costume charge. That's what it is. Costume charge. Whew. Whoa, I can feel my brain cells melting. There's smoke coming out of my ears right now as I do this puzzle. I feel like a genius. Amasses. Gut. Create out of thin air. Is that SSNs? This is conjure. This is rile. Rile up. App buyer is a user. And that all makes sense now. What? Got that whole bottom part? Woo! It's the mate. It's all the mate doing the work here. Oh, so good. Another nice thing about mate, if you've never had it, because you re-infuse it a whole bunch of times, the first brew is like bitter and strong, and it like the taste is pleasant, and it is also like strong and sharp, and it kind of helps wake you up. Just the taste, it's nice. And then the more times you infuse it, the mellower it gets. And it's nice because then it's like mellowing out as you're waking up and mellowing out, you know? It's nice. The whole experience of drinking several cups of mate to start your day is one that I highly recommend. The whole thing is like, it's just very nice. It's pleasant. And the experience of drinking it is like the experience of waking up with it. Is like the experience of a nice chilled out Sunday morning hang. Like we are doing. Some kind of fish. Tetra. Tetra. You know, I think it's tetra. And I had tetra, yeah. I had tetra when I was a wee little Joey. Yep. Had a little tank with some little tetra fish. And I remember I think they started breeding, and we had to get a special plastic box thing to put I don't remember, it was a long time ago. But it was like you had to get a special plastic box to put like the mom fish in after they lay their eggs or something, or for them to lay the eggs in. I don't remember exactly, because they will like attack and eat the babies. Super messed up stuff. But yeah, tetra fish. I should have known that because I had some. Yeah, nature is brutal. The fish are eating their own young. Nature is healing. Is this also Edsel? Is it Edsel Fiat? I feel like it's Edsel Fiat. It's not Edsel Fiat. So much for Edsel Fiat being a thing. Rip in peace, Edsel Fiat. You won't be missed. No, I was gonna say it's cling to, but it can't be cling to because there's only one letter there and there's 3 letters there. That's gotta be an S, right? Oh, look at you go! Thank you. That's totally what it is. Yes, I honestly couldn't remember what reflexive pronouns were, and now I remember. Now that I see herself up there. Yeah, makes sense. And this is near. I thought this was near from the very start of the puzzle, but I was like, there's no way. There's no way that's near. That seems too, like, not quite the right, like, again, it's not like the quite the right form. It doesn't quite match the clue enough, but it is. It's gotta be. Is this chats? And this is rackets. Something rackets. This is WAG. Lab is capitalized. And so it, like, since WAG is capitalized, and then this is worms. Because because it's capitalized, it's not a laboratory, it's the dog. And an approval from a lab, it wags its tail. Art classes. Yeah, I thought that it was bears at first. I actually put bears, and I think the check thing pinged it as wrong. Or I put it and I removed it because I was like, it could also be worms. I'm not sure. Yeah, worms it's gonna be, worms it's gonna be. Still don't know what a mop is. I have no idea. Art classes. Seems like it should be easy because there's only one letter left, but it doesn't make any sense. This is skate by. Yes! I was too hung up. I was thinking classes like educational classes, but it's like art classes like classifications of art, which is genres. You are absolutely correct. Nice one. Nice thinking. Parking mott. I don't even know what mott means. Or excuse me, parting mott. I keep saying parking, but it's parting mott. Oh, is it adieu. 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 I don't know what mott means, but I'm assuming it's something in French. Discs. I don't know if it's a C or a K that it wants there. Let's check. Oh, it's not discs. I don't know why I thought tablets would be discs, honestly. That's weird. That's weird of me. Welcome Rackets. That's what this is. Welcome Rackets. Tablets are doses, and toot. I don't know what spree and toot have to do with each other, but sure, we'll take it. We'll take it. Jessica Biel. I've heard of her. I don't know what that show is, but I've heard of Jessica Biel. Television's Jessica Biel. You know what? This is nibs. That was the first word that I put in, and I removed it because I thought it was wrong. But look, it is. Blue tag is NSFW. I don't know why that's blue, but I'm guessing on some kind of social media site, not safe for work appears as blue. Maybe like a hashtag is blue on Twitter and you put hashtag not safe for work. I don't know. It's kind of a stretch. Like I said, it's that's the kind of thing where like these puzzles are clearly made by like boomers. Like, what does not safe for work tag have to do with being blue? Oh, well, it appears in blue on Twitter because it's a link. You can click on the tag, so it's blue. But, like, you can look at Twitter in a web browser. You can fully customize your web browser, and it's not necessarily blue. And it's sometimes purple if you click on a tag, and not every site uses the same color schemes for URLs, even though blue is kind of the default standards. It's, like, I don't know. Seems like it's written by somebody who's like trying to be hip and cool and relevant, but is not like not quite savvy. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But it is not safe for work. You're correct, JT. NSFW. This is Artur. Oh no, not Artur. Autor. Excuse me. Ah. More mate time. Mate ASMR. Malibu. Good eye. Yeah, I even know the clue, and I was like, I don't know California well enough to know the answer to this. It's totally Malibu. Yep. This is tween, I think, because it's middle school fashion. Tween something. That's neat. Test. Tests are obstacles in courses, in coursework. This is best of the nest. Right? Because it's the bird voted most likely to succeed is the best of the nest. This puzzle has these fantastic puns in it. I kind of love it. Best of the nest. Baby! The possum version of that would be peak of the pouch. This has got to be either Lee or D. Those are the only two names that I can imagine. Ah. I feel like that's probably an S, right? Start. No, it's a C. It's starchy. Starchy. Yeah, JT, you got it too. You got it too. Starchy. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. My mouse has turned into a little wheel symbol. Oh, it's back to normal. Okay, I was worried that our browser was gonna crash or something. Meal time. Is this La Boheme? Like Bohemian? It is! That was a guess. That was a total guess. But look, we have nothing wrong in the puzzle right now. Things are going right. It's all coming together. Thanks, Mate. Thanks, chat. Ba, 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 ba. This is tie into. It says emote. Insert? Maybe? No. Destroys as books. Tie into might be wrong. Let's check again. Yeah, tie into is wrong. Something into. Destroys as books. Like my gut reaction on that one is burns, but it's obviously not that. It can't be that. Because like, when you think about destroying books, the only real way you ever think about people destroying books is burning them. But it's gotta be something punny and weird. It can't be quite so literal. Indy 500 name is Unsir. Ah-ha! Thank you. I never would have known that. This is pulps. If you recycle a book, you're pulping it. Yeah! You and me both at the same time, JT. Brains! And this is tap into, connect with, tap into. Ah, da, 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 da. I've seen the movie The Magnificent Seven, but I don't know any of the actors in it anymore. I'll come back to this section maybe. Let's check up here. What's going on up here? A little loot. This is Denizen. Swindles. Japanese fish preparation that starts with tan. You'd think I would know this. I love Japanese food, but I don't know what they're getting at here. I probably will know it as soon as we figure it out. But I'm at a loss. Shift gears. I'm gonna check the grid again. We're at that point. It's not denizens. Citizens. Oh, it could be loans. No, it's because this is scams. Swindles is scams. Now that we've got citizens. This is said This is Mako sharks. A bit of Tataki. No, Tatsiki is that's Greek. Tataki. Yeah, the clue is important. It's a date. Alright, so then this. We have clue, the loot. Is it loot? He Drummond doesn't sound like a name. Maybe it is a name. No, it's not. So we've got loot, and it's L-U-blank-E. And then we have the Pioneer Woman host blank Drummond, and it is blank E-E. I think it's probably something like D, but like, this doesn't make any sense then. And I have no idea, I don't know what this could be. Lee. It could be. Yeah, but then, like, what is this? Like, loot? Luckle? No. Yeah, I'm throwing spaghetti at a wall on this one. I'm very stumped. Let's see. Let's go through the alphabet, right? Is it B? No. It's R-E-E, Ree Drummond, and loot is lucre. It seems like it's maybe French with that R-E ending. I have no idea. I have never heard that word before, but that's the answer. This is why I like the online crosswords, because if this were on pen and paper, I would have had to look that up. There's absolutely no way I could have ever figured it out. But with this little checked grid, I can just guess, and eventually I'll get it. anybody follow, I think, baseball? The American League is baseball, right? Miguel something. 2002 MVP. Transport to Tel Aviv. Fiat. This little bit. This is just absolute. Lucre is French. So it's probably said like, yeah. I can't speak French if you couldn't tell. I'm not trying to offend anyone French. I just very much struggle with French pronunciation. I don't know how to say things. Best of funny thing. Best of middle school fashion. Because this will give us half of what we need to finish the puzzle. If we can get this. Could it be basket? Tween basket? That doesn't make any sense to me. I don't think it's basket. I don't want to reveal the clues. I want us to figure these out. But this last little bit of this puzzle is tough because we have a name. Something Wallach. 3-letter name. We have this one of these long clues, which is like a silly pun. Bit of middle school fashion. We have another name. 2002 MVP American League, Miguel something. We have transport to Tel Aviv, which I don't know. I know where Tel Aviv is, but I don't know what they mean by transport to Tel Aviv as a puzzle hint. That looks like this anyway. And then we have Fiat, which I don't even know what this is getting at. This could be edict. Actually, I think this is edict. A fiat is an edict. That doesn't help with anything else, though. So we got one of them, but now we are still stuck here. Tween tickets. It could be. Let's see. Might as well give it a try at this point, right? Tween ticket. Check our grid. Nope, not teen ticket. Not tween jacket, because it's fashion. Tween jacket. Okay, so transport to Tel Aviv. I don't know what this could be. That's probably another clue. Maybe it could be in like Hebrew or something. Tejada. Yeah, that does sound like a potentially a Spanish name. Yup. Is this Emmy? Eri? Eddie? Eli! It's Eli! Puzzle done! 2 hours, 26 minutes, and 44 seconds. But that includes like our break time and stuff because I left it tabbed in during the break. We did pretty good today. Crossword puzzle complete. Look at that. Look at that. We have done it. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So how about that? We've now completed 2 Sunday crossword puzzles in 2 weeks. I'd say that's a pretty good record. We are doing good. Yeah. I don't know how you're feeling after this hangout brunch session, but I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling ready to get going with my day. I don't know that there's anybody I want to raid. Does anybody in the chat have somebody who they know that's live that we should raid? I could like browse around and find somebody, but I'm not great at using Twitch's browse features, and no one I know is live right now. And I don't really want to just raid into some random channel of someone I don't know. I don't know, I feel weird about that. But if you have any suggestions for a raid, then pop them in the chat now. And if we don't get any, maybe we'll just call it for a day. Looks like we have no raid suggestions in the chat, y'all. I mean, that's fair. I don't have any ideas, so I was trying to cheat by getting ideas from you all, but I understand that if you don't have any ideas, you're here, which maybe means that I'm the VTuber you know who is currently live. I'm just doing a little quick browse, see if there's anybody who looks interesting. Who's maybe small. I am so bad at using Twitch. But this was good. This was good. We had a great conversation. Got nice and caffeinated. Had a good meal. This was a successful stream, I think. Thank you all for hanging out. I'm not finding anybody who I think would be a good raid target. So I think we're just going to end the stream. Enjoy your Sunday. Maybe go and do something fun. Keep relaxing. Whatever's going to work for you. Thank you for joining me this morning or afternoon or night or whatever time it is where you are. And I hope you had a good time. I will be live again on Wednesday. That's our gaming stream night, traditionally. Wednesday evening Eastern Time, US, at 6 p.m. I don't know what I'm going to play yet. I may pop up a Twitter poll. I may just make a decision. Maybe we'll do Hotline Miami 2. That's on deck, since we did play through Hotline Miami 1. But regardless, I'll see you on Saturday. Thanks, or not Saturday. I mean, I will see you next Saturday, but I'll see you next Wednesday. On this coming Wednesday, just a few days from now. And we'll do some gaming, and we will hang out. And until then, I hope you have a fantastic time. Thank you, everybody. And take care. Take care of yourselves. I love you all. I'll see you, Space Cowboys. Bye!